Hello everybody, welcome. Basically the point being is that in this reading I'm going to do for an Aries for November the 4th to November the 10th of 2024. This reading is going to provide about what's going on through an Aries situation. Basically it will be very interesting of how it goes and how it seems to be and how everything is. So, this is the way it goes, this is the way of how it is. This is the way of how things are and how you can do what you can, but the way of how you can succeed and you do exactly how it is. If you're hearing any voices in the background, I'm going to apologize to you all because I'm in a cafe shop. I know that you might hear lots of voices. I know it could be very loud noises. But I hope that you all enjoy this video and I hope that you like it. Please give it a like, please give it a comment and enjoy it. But this is what it seems to be. So, in the way of how it goes, I hope that you can understand this and I hope that you can see it and acknowledge what's going on from the ins and outs in that situation. Knowing that this is a priority of how it goes, this is the way it goes. Because this is the way it happens, this is the way of how things are, and this is what it seems to be. So, in this reading, I'm going to read you all is empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. When you have that, it's the way of how it goes, where you have that way of having different sides of the story here, where one's good, one's bad. But this is what it seems to be, So when you have a good day, you're having a good day. When you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. So, this is the way it goes. This is the way it seems to be, and you have to acknowledge that. And the way of how it goes, right? So this is the way of how it seems to be, and this is how it is, okay? So, let me start off the reading because I'm going to see this, and I'll do one card, and this is it. So, here we go. So, basically, in this format, you have the King of Wands reversed. So, Aries, this is the time and a place of knowing what to do, right? And an Aries needs to pay attention to this because of what's going on through this situation. Now, Aries, you need to pay attention. You have to have the way of how it goes, and you have to do exactly what you're told to do and be responsible. So I'm going to look at what's going on in the middle situation. The Five of Swords reversed. So so the Five of Swords is upright, means that you're having conflict. Now, when you're having conflict, it's not good. So you could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The King of Wands is upright because there's passion here, but then the Seven of Pentacles reversed, there's no vision. Seven of Pentacles reversed, there's no third party. But then the Seven of Cups is upright because you have a delusion in some way. So you could be thinking that there's lots of things that are going on in that perspective. You're thinking about how it is. You're thinking about how it seems to be. This is the way of how it goes, where you have to negotiate on how things are, and this is the way it goes. Because one way or another, everything has to be all a time and place of how it goes. And when everything has to be all great, you have to do that as long as it needs to. This is the way it happens. This is the way it kind of goes in one way or another. And you have to do exactly what you're doing. You have to be involved, and you have to get things done in order to do it. But in the way of how it goes, you have to figure out what's happening in that time frame, in that way of how it goes. This is the way it seems to be. So let me figure this out. So what's in the middle here? Ace of Coins is upright, Three of Coins is upright, and the Five of Wands is upright. Yeah, see, look at this series. Basically, you're having chaos right now. Chaos is a big time blowout in that situation. You have the Ace of Coins and the Three of Coins represents like when there's a money situation that you're trying to go for it and you do exactly what you're told to do, because you have to be responsible about your actions, the way of how you feel, the way how you act. There are times where you need to step up to the plate and do something, right? It's the way of how it goes. Because in the way of how this is, it's very, very nostalgic about how it is, where you're feeling, hopeless, you're feeling how it is. But when you're having chaos and conflict, it's a bad outcome, So there's always a will. There's always a will and there's always a way, right? So when you think about that, you think about how things are in one way or another, and you have to do that. This is a time and place for everything. This is the way it goes. This is the way of how things are. And you need to have like a balancing act. You're balancing two things at once. So when things go a different way, you have to do exactly what you're told to do. You're responsible for how it is. because the way how it goes is very seems to be, and this is how unrealistic it sounds, but it's the way of how it goes, you know. So when you look at this, you think that everything is all fine, but then you think it's not crystal clear. It's not. So this is the way of how it goes. What's in the middle? Queen of Cups reversed. Interesting. Interesting. Does it give you that way of how it is? Let's see. So, 10 Cups reversed. King of Pentacles upright, yeah, because you could be a working person. Page of Swords reversed. The High Priestess upright, yeah, because you want to use your inner voice. You know, things will go into place as it goes along. When you are a working person, you are working. You know, you do exactly what you're doing. This is like almost like a silver line. You look at it from a silver line, and you have to do exactly what you're told to do. Be responsible, be accountable, be who you are. Because one way or another, everything has to be shaped and how it is. But this is the way it happens. You know, you have to go with the flow. So you have to go with the flow. And the point being is that when you go with the flow, you do exactly what you're told to do. So for the King of Pentacles, if you're dealing with the Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, there's ways of trying to understand that. If you're using the High Priestess, you're using an inner voice. You know, it's the way of how you can shift shape and do things as you're told to do, but it's the way of how it goes. You know, so this is the way of how you can do things as a wonderful feeling. You know. So let's see. Let's see what's happening in the middle. So the King comes reversed, there's no support, no? 5 of Wands reversed, there's no chaos. The Lover's reversed, there's no decisions. Interesting. The Tower reversed, there's no transformation. 3 Cups separate because there's celebration. 4 Cups separate because there's a distraction. Interesting. Now what is this celebration? Queen of Pentacles upright. So there's stability for you, Aries. You have celebrations. I have no idea why you're celebrating on something. The Hierophant is upright because there's guidance. Yeah, see, when you have stability, you have guidance, and you have a distraction. That's all you're trying to do, right? Because you're trying to think about how it is, but this is the way it goes. This is the way of how things are. You know, this is the way of how it goes, because you have to use your inner peace. Yeah, you know. So let's see. So we have the eyes of beauty, positive expectations, clarity. You know, that's how it is, right? So when you have that, you have the ability to understand that. So when you have that, it's the way of how it goes. Try to figure out about that card and try about this card. So let's see. The Sacred Union, partnership, romance. Yeah, see, that's how it is, right? And last one, you have the Rainbow Prince, compensation, perseverance. You know, that's how it is, right? So when you have that, you do exactly what you're doing. So this is all about like a woman's situation. It could be that, right? So you could be dealing with another woman, you know, in one way or another. This is where how it is. This is the way of how it goes, because you have to think about how everything is one way or another. You know, this is the way of how it goes. This is the way of how you can proceed with caution. How it goes. So the Hermit is separated because there's solitude, because you're looking for a soulmate here. King of Swords separated because there's knowledge here. The Ace of Cups reversed, there's no satisfaction. No. 7 Swords reversed, there's no deceit. No. But then you have the Queen of Cups separate because you have empathy. Yeah, see, there's 2 sides of the story here. You know, so when things go a different way, you have to look at this and think, okay, well, everything's fine, everything's all nifty, and everything else, right? You know, so the way of happening is the way of how it goes, where you can do things on your specific way of how it goes, because this is just like a way of how it happens. This is the way of how everything is, right? This is like almost like a turpentine situation where you do things as, you know, goes along. So, you know, this reading does make sense. but yet pay attention to it on how everything is. And this is the way it goes. This is the way it happens. This is the way of have dignity and have lots of things are going on. So this is the way it happens. Is when you look at empathy, there's two sides of the story. One looks good, one looks bad. So this is the way it happens. But the point being is that before I let you all go, pay attention about what's going on around that situation. Pay attention about what's going on through this situation. Whether it's good or bad, whether things will go into a split second. It's the way of how it goes. It's the way of how you can do that. So the way it happens, you do exactly what you do, and the way of how it is, right? So you have to believe it in order to understand that, and the way of how you can do it, as long as it needs to. So when you think back, you think to yourself, all right, well, everything's fine. But then you think, okay, well, this is what it is. So, this is the way it happens, this is how it is, and this is the way it goes. Because when you look at it, you have to look at it from a different way, a different perspective, a different outcome. But it's the way of how it can be. So when you have conflict, or when you're not getting along, or when you have chaos, whatever else, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to drive you nuts. So this is how it's going to be. But the point being is that this is how it is. I hope you all like this video. Please give it a like, please give it a comment, and enjoy, because this is what it seems to be. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and thank you. Have a nice day to all, and bye. Thank you.